the nightlife is amazing.
Kit Kat. You're going to have Francis at your home. Welcome, and it's time for our second episode at Campus Unfiltered. My name is Bvnny, your host, and today we are diving into a really interesting topic, which is especially relevant for our international students. And please welcome our guest, Francis, who is also a dear friend of mine.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So together we're gonna take a closer look into how it's like to study, live and work here in Berlin. And as always, we're gonna give away our beautiful self-designed t-shirts. This is one of them from our last podcast. And how you can win one, you can comment down below and give us some suggestions for our next podcast, what we should talk about or what you are interested in. And if you feel like this podcast was really interesting or really helpful for you, please leave a like and comment down below. So I would say we dive into this topic, and as I mentioned before, Francis and me, we met privately before, and we had really great conversations. So you studying IT here at the MDH now, right?
That is correct, yes.
Can you briefly explain in a nutshell what the core of your studies is?
So I'm currently pursuing a degree in IT, specializing in artificial intelligence and data analytics. The core of the program tends to focus on developing programming skills and also developing a deep understanding of how AI models and AI systems work. The course is extremely practical, so it means that we get a lot of hands-on experience with regards to engineering and building systems. But I will have to say that so far my favorite part of the program is actually architecting AI systems, yes.
Oh. So how does that look like, architecting AI system?
So we basically live in a world where right now programming skills are relatively cheap, mainly because AI writes majority of the code, even in enterprise systems or in companies as well. And so right now the skills are gearing more towards understanding how these systems are structured and being able to basically design those structures, knowing exactly what tool you need to build in order to get the desired output or outcome.
You could study everywhere around the world, right? So why did you decide to study in Germany, in Berlin, especially at the MDH?
Well, I mean, first of all, studying in Berlin for me so far has been relatively amazing. I chose Berlin because, well, number one, the programs are very, very respected. German universities are respected all over the world. And this specific program literally called out to me, you know, because I saw the program, I went through the catalog and the course requirements, and it was just perfect. So I was like, okay, this is what I want.
This is actually really amazing. But so what has been your experience so far studying here at the MDH compared to, like, you also lived in other cities, right?
Yes.
So how was the difference for you?
So I would say that I'm someone that has had the opportunity to live in multiple cities. I was born and raised in Accra, Ghana, and I lived in Ukraine as well for a number of years, and now I'm based in Berlin, Germany, right? And there is a significant difference living in all those three cities and also studying in all those three cities, right? And for me, Ghana was more communal, so more community oriented, more social, relatively warmer because, you know, people are happy most of the time and very playful and smile a lot. Ukraine was more academically focused and intense because when I was in Ukraine, I was pursuing my medical degree. Germany, Berlin, Germany, on the other hand, is more diverse. I would say Ghana is community oriented, Ukraine is extremely academically focused, right? And Germany is more like, Berlin is more like, it gives you an opportunity to reinvent yourself, you know, to sort of get in the vibe with like all the 100 billion things that are happening every day.
That's actually so interesting because I would think Germany as like, from what I heard from other people, what they think about Germany, that Germany is more academic, the way you think of Germans, that we are really structured and organized, right? And I would think more of that people think that about Germany compared to Ukraine. If I would have these three countries and I would categorize them as you did, then I would say from what I heard, or what I think it is, that Ukraine is more a community country. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that is not the thing. Yeah, especially for like comparing Berlin to Kharkiv, for instance, Berlin is more metropolitan, and most people in Berlin do speak English, right? So even if you don't speak German, you can still get by somehow by just speaking English. But Ukraine was not that way. So in Ukraine, most people spoke Russian, right? And so to be able to sort of integrate properly and get the opportunities to form meaningful connections, you definitely needed to learn Russian language to survive at any level at all, right? So.
Okay, and in Ghana, what is the main language?
So the official language in Ghana is English.
Okay, so it's like Berlin.
It's like Berlin, but Ghana also has over 105 different languages. So it is like Berlin and not like Berlin, you know.
Got you. So it's also really international. So was it harder to find work? Is it harder to find work in Ghana compared to Berlin? Or I would even take Ukraine in it too. Like, which one was the hardest?
I mean, it always depends on, first of all, how flexible you are.
Okay.
And secondly, how exactly what sort of job you're looking for and in what field, right?
Okay, it depends on the field.
So in Ukraine, for instance, it was quite easy to get a job, especially as an English teacher, for instance, if your English was pretty good. It was also easy to like get bar jobs, right, and relatively odd jobs as well. However, if you wanted to do something more official and so to speak,
right,
it was relatively challenging, especially if you didn't speak the language, right? And Germany is similar, but as you probably know, Berlin is a bubble.
Right.
And most people in Berlin speak English, right? So comparing Berlin to Ukraine, I would say Berlin definitely has more opportunities. There are a lot of startups here. There are a lot of tech companies here, customer support, representation, and hospitality. If you speak English, you can go into all of these areas. And I would say hospitality has the lowest bar of acceptance because they're always basically looking for people, so to speak. So it's easier getting a job in Germany compared to Ukraine, but of course it also depends on what kind of job.
Right. And if we talk about jobs, especially focused on, let's say, what we study over here, like media and tech and my field, for example, DFD, digital film design, which is visual effects and 3D animation. What would you say, where's the best job opportunities? Because you said Ghana is an English-based country, right?
Yes.
So, and you said Ukraine is better for work opportunities, or would you say Ukraine is better for studies?
Ukraine is, it's a very generalized, it's a very general like statement, right? So you can't obviously say one country is really, really good for studying, but and another country is good for work. It's very subjective, right? And also multi-dimensional, so to speak. I would say for me, my academic experience in Ukraine was very eye-opening, right? And it was challenging. It pushed me to my limits, right? However, there were significant limitations when it came to finding jobs that you actually want to do, especially in the area of clinical medicine, since you need to have almost perfect proficiency in Russian to be able to interact with patients, right? But in Germany, it's relatively easier. Not in medicine, because in Germany, you also still have the same requirements. Because contrary to what a lot of people believe, Germany still operates very heavily in German. And so if you do have long-term plans of living in Germany, learning German is a non-starter, right? You definitely need to master the German language.
And do you think that the reality living here in Berlin is actually what an international, like, does it hit the expectations of what an international student has?
In some ways, yes, and in some other ways, no. Again, Berlin is a very international city and diverse, and the nightlife is amazing, right? That's why people travel all over the world to Berlin to experience the nightlife. However, what people are not told when they are moving to Germany as a whole is that, okay, it's true, it's amazing to network, it's amazing to find great opportunities and meet amazing people, but there are other points as well, right? And some of those points include the fact that you will have to deal with bureaucracy. That is non-negotiable. So bureaucracy is a huge, huge issue. You need to process your paperwork, and you need to do them on time, the German way. Yeah, but also it's also initially hard to create meaningful connections in Berlin or in Germany as a whole, right? So it takes time to build relationships.
But why is it hard, do you think? Because it's such an international city, right? And everyone, especially now we focus only on Berlin, right? All the other parts, I'm from Hamburg, I was born and raised in Hamburg, and all the other parts in Germany, we speak German. So when I moved to Berlin, I personally got a little culture shock. I actually got a huge culture shock for like a few hours because it was so different. Everyone was just talking in English to me, right? So what would you say that was the issue?
So I would say that it's not necessarily a Berlin issue, but a metropolitan city issue.
That's a great
right?
answer.
Because we live in a very connected world right now with the advent of the internet and social media, so on and so forth. But simultaneously, we live in the most isolating time in human history, right? If you live in a big city, everybody is busy doing their own thing. People are trying to work, build a career, doing their gigs, right? Chasing their dreams, so to speak. And relationships more often than not tend to fall in the background because it's not always prioritized. And also, if you're a foreigner in Germany and based in Berlin, a lot of the people you're going to be running into that are natives already have their friend networks, right? So they're already set up. So it takes a little more effort, push, and patience to be able to start building any sort of meaningful connections.
Do you feel that difficulty also in the other countries, like in Ukraine and in Ghana, despite the fact that you are from Ghana? So I guess you already had your circle and your people. How was it in Ukraine? Would you say it was the same because it's also a cosmopolitan city?
It is. So Ukraine was similar, but in a different way, in the sense that because most people didn't speak English, so it meant that if you could speak the language, you had better chances of making a connection, right? But if you could not speak the language, then obviously you would struggle significantly. And so when you observed the behavior of students with regards to managing their relationships, international students tended to hang out with other international students, while local students tended to hang out together, right? And only if you had some level of fluency in Russian or Ukrainian could you actually veer outside your bubble, your international bubble, so to speak, right? But in Berlin, because a significant number of people do actually speak English, it means that meeting people and forming connections are relatively easier than was the case in Ukraine. But nonetheless, it still takes time, right? So you still need patience to be able to get to that point.
Yeah. So for our international students who are watching, what would you suggest if you could give one golden tip, what would you suggest them to do when they arrived here in Berlin? They have no freaking way, like especially to our introverts here, we talked about it in our last episode, go and watch it. What do you suggest them to do?
So obviously it depends on what your goals are. If you're in Berlin to study and to network, build meaningful connections, then it's important to dedicate some time to actually doing that. Because building relationships takes time and effort, and you need to put yourself in the right atmosphere with the right people. You need to reach out, you need to show interest, and generally once Germans see that you're making an effort, they won't leave you hanging. It's like they will also reach out to you. So
thank you so much for the golden tip. I would say we can I want to play a little game actually, and it's the 1 out of 10 rating. So how it goes is I'm gonna say a sentence. So for example, Berlin is overrated for international students, and then you're just gonna tell me 1 till 10. We can think of a number, and 1 till 10, we just say our number. After 3, we say the number out loud, and then you can explain really short why you think that.
okay.
Okay, cool.
Let's go.
So the first question is, Berlin is overrated for international students.
I would say 4.
Okay, I would say decent 5.
You hesitated a bit there.
Okay, yeah. Why do you think it's a 4?
I think Berlin is not overrated. It is actually an amazing city to live in, especially if you're art oriented or if you're extroverted as well. Berlin is an amazing place to be. It's a very international city. It's extremely diverse. There are all sorts of amazing people here from all over the world, right? When I'm on the street, I hear all the languages. I hear Spanish, I hear Chinese, Mandarin, right? It's amazing. And my friend group are also extremely diverse as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they all.
So Berlin is definitely not underrated for studying. The universities are really, really good.
Yeah.
The lifestyle is good, right? And the nightlife is amazing. Right? So I would say, yeah, for sure, it definitely does live up to its name when you experience it.
Okay, the second one. You can build a better career in Berlin than in other international cities. 3, 2, 1.
6. Okay.
Okay, why 6? Why 6?
6 because while it is true that there are a lot of opportunities available to you in Berlin, and believe me, there are a lot of opportunities, right? Berlin is still a German city, and so the language always comes back. It's so important, guys, to learn the language. The language comes back like all the time. So you may be saturated with a lot of opportunities, but if they all require you to be fluent in German, and you're not, then you might not be able to access some of these opportunities. But if you do put in the work to learn German, you'll be able to access way more opportunities than you originally imagined was even possible. But why did you give Berlin a 6?
Because honestly, the weather. I just imagine myself, building a career over here, which is definitely possible. But I would definitely leave in the winter time, and then I will come back when June is hitting. Third hot take, the third sentence. It's hard to make real connections in Berlin. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
4.
7.
Okay, I made a mistake. It's not 4 because 4 would mean it's not so hard to create relationships. I would probably go with an 8 rather. Because it's harder to make relationships in Berlin, to form meaningful relationships in Berlin. I think one of the contributing factors is the fact that because Berlin is so international, the population is constantly shifting, right? So I noticed, for instance, that during the winter period, the city feels a bit more empty, and everybody that can escape basically escape, like you, to warmer regions. And those that can't escape, right, have to stay and face the horrid weather. But yeah, like I would say it's harder to create connections, like I mentioned earlier, because a lot of people that live here already have their own like networks. And also I noticed that people in general in Berlin are usually cautious, but once you form a connection, then it's real. It's a connection.
Yeah,
but it takes some time and effort always.
Yeah, no, of course.
To get there.
Of course. I want to add something. Like, I think it's harder to if I compare it to another city like Japan, it is way more difficult to make connections in Japan than in Germany, because Germany is so international. But Japan, you will like when I was living in Japan, I would only stick with the internationals. Not because it was really difficult to get into a circle, and even you are in this circle with your Japanese people, it's just really difficult to communicate because they automatically switch into Japanese. So if I don't know Japanese, it's just super difficult to
communicate and connect.
Yeah. To stick with what they say. Yeah, but thank you. Actually, our podcast is already over.
Oh wow!
Right.
That's fast.
Do you wanna give out or share your socials with the internet? You can share your LinkedIn, so you will get more jobs.
So yes, you can find me on LinkedIn as Francis Iyeke-Kanu. Yeah, so look me up and reach out.
He's doing IT again, studying in the best university in Berlin, in Germany. I'm sorry. So for the hunters, you guys know. All right, so are you actually ready to show your t-shirt?
Not quite, but I'm very close.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds, dude, because I also need a little 10
more
seconds.
time, huh?
Yeah, 10, 9, 8, I love it, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done.
Okay, I just need to cause oh
I gotta, that's a lot of
my handwriting
seconds.
cannot be seen.
Okay, are you ready? I really want to show my t-shirt.
My t-shirt is really, my painting is really creepy, and yeah.
Yeah, okay, so while we give Francis a little bit of cheat time, we're gonna give away my t-shirt, so don't forget to comment down below to win this t-shirt, and tell us what kind of topic you want to see next, and click the follow button to everyone, especially if you are from the MDH. You have to have this responsibility to click that button, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn, follow what kind of all on also Facebook maybe. We are on all social media, TikTok. For everyone, we are on TikTok actually. I didn't know that myself. We are on TikTok and I love it. Are you? Okay. So if you found this podcast helpful and you want to know more about it, stay tuned. As I said, give us a big like and share this podcast with your family and your friends. Yeah. And even comment if you want to be on the podcast. Are you ready? We're going to show and reveal the
Yes.
t-shirts. You can keep yours, and we're going to again give this one away. 3,
2, 1.
You want to see mine?
Really?
I draw you. Anyone who's gonna win this t-shirt, you're gonna have Francis at your home. Stick him to your wall.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not realize.
What did you draw?
So I drew an Adeptus Mechanicus.
That's so freaking cool.
Also known as a tech priest, so apparently.
Oh my god. Is it a Dungeons and Dragons character?
No, it's a sort of a cult, a tech cult, featured in Warhammer 40K.
Okay.
Yes. So they are engineers that are also priests, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.